I beseech you, with all due respect and humility, that may we forge ahead while we hold dear values and ethos that are able to transform the country as we move. And to be able to have us approach change in a manner that it may not be disastrous to us, it will be important if we can consider our ability to change our thinking, to change our approach, to approach things differently, and like I said, to see the cup as half full, not as half empty. Appoint yourself, just as I did, to be an ambassador of change. For Kenya will not confidently change without your participation. And that is why I ask you in earnest that please, let's be comrades. If you know the definition of a comrade is a fellow socialist, a fellow communist. Let's be comrades in this journey. Let's work together in this journey so that we can also uphold integrity. I know corruption is not an event. My school of thought, my own individual philosophy will define corruption among many definitions as not being spontaneous. It is something of the will. It takes a spirit that thought about it. It takes a heart that won over the determination. It takes a spirit that won over resilience and took a step. And while taking that step, plunged into a corruption. Ladies and gentlemen, you all know that a single act of corruption can destroy an entire system. And that is why it is not all lost on me that while we sit here as young people of Kenya, I know for a fact we do not just account for a bigger part of our population. We also account for a bigger change of our society. I know that while history of this world will be written, there is a chapter, if not a paragraph, for you today. But how do you get there? You need to get there by carving a niche for yourself today and saying, I'm not just going to be a recipient of information around integrity and corruption, but a passive actor in the campaign against corruption and in the campaign enhancing integrity in our Kenyan soil.
Stand up against corruption. Corruption may promise quick rewards, but it destroys nation. It is sad, but recent surveys reveal that many young people do not see harm in dishonest shortcuts like tax evasion, corruption, fake certificates. We are seeing an upsurge in plagiarism among university students. In EACC, we are overwhelmed by the number of fake certificates that we have to investigate. Some of people who are very highly placed. Why don't you want to go to the university and get a genuine certificate? And when you go to the university, why don't you want to work hard so that you get that genuine certificate that is a result and an expression of who you really are? No nation has ever thrived through corruption. Greatness is built on honesty, hard work, and trust. Finally, develop moral identity. Moral identity is the internalized image of character that an individual portrays through personal actions. It is the primary component of self-identity regarding your own sense of morality. When you are confronted with moral dilemma as to what to do in a given situation, your decision on what to do in that situation will be dependent on your moral identity. Who do you believe you are? And who are you? So that the decision you take in that situation reflects who you are, not what is convenient. That is what moral identity is. Trust is like a bridge between leaders and their followers. When that bridge is strong, people are willing to follow, to cooperate, and to contribute. But when the bridge develops cracks through broken promises, lack of accountability, or unethical conduct, people begin to lose confidence. Rebuilding that bridge takes time, consistency, and ethical leadership. And I want to urge you, particularly young people in the house today, take your time, follow the right path. Build your name as a man or woman who can be trusted. When you make a promise, fulfill it. When you say you are going to do something, do it, and do it well. You will be a person who will be respected, who will be honored, and you will go many places. Shortcuts have a way of cutting your life short at the wrong time. Rebuild that bridge of integrity and use time and consistency to grow into an ethical leader. The youth of our country, who are the majority in this room and who are the majority in the country, have a significant role to play in rebuilding trust. This lies in your power to reshape and influence the ethical standards for your generation. By influencing fellow peers, refusing to tolerate evil. When somebody does evil around you, you must refuse and help them to follow the right path. Plagiarizing in exams, cheating, copying, all those are signs of corruption that begin very small but grows into big things. We must shape our conversations on social media. How do we interact with each other? What kind of language are we promoting? We must make decisions that shape how communities are built. We must lead as young people by action and by example. Let's embrace values. Our society faces challenges in corruption, radicalization, and addictions. But these can be defeated if you as young people are focused on hard work, sincerity, and hope. You must not let peer pressure lead you to take shortcuts that will lead you into the path of destruction. Greatness comes to those who invest in integrity and in perseverance. Don't be deceived by those men and women who have taken shortcuts by stealing our resources and building empires out of that which has been stolen. Work slowly but hard and with excellence, and you will build a foundation that you can leave to your children and your children's children, and you can sleep in peace without worrying whether EACC will visit your house in the crack of dawn.
We are happy EACC saw the need to start partnerships with universities. And I'm happy to note that this is not the first time you are coming to a university. You have had a history of others. And this is what the SDGs talk about. They talk of partnerships for goals. At the Kenya Vision 2030 level, when you are at MKU now, you talk of public-private partnership as a driver for the achievement of the Kenya Vision 2030. Thank you. It was approved on Thursday the 4th by the Deans Committee, and I would be happy to mention to members here that the courtesy call that was made by the high power delegation that's here on 5th of May to the Vice Chancellor's meeting started the journey. After visiting the VC, they met with the chair of the board of directors, the founder of MKU. And all of them agreed that we need this common unit and we need to talk of integrity all the time and also do it. And I was very happy that even the MKU anthem talked of integrity, and this is part of it. And thank you very much for that. The expected outcomes from the ongoing EACC CLIF MKU collaborative activities include, among others, increased awareness, commitment, and institutional collaboration on ethics and integrity initiatives, as well as student-led activities and university-led policy discussions. And we are ready as a university to do that. In conclusion, I thank the Ethics and Anti-Corruption Commission of Kenya, courtesy of Kenya Leadership Integrity Forum, CLIF, for bringing this event to MKU. We aspire to move this partnership to a higher level with time and starting immediately. Through more engagement, through joint research, and more joint projects for the good of our nation, country called Kenya, and for the global community at large.
So the challenges the youths are facing are so many because you know that to get jobs you must pay or you must know someone who knows someone, and those are the challenges that that prohibit us from being successful. The youths of Kenya are suffering a lot. Actually, they are suffering a lot, and they do not have a leeway of how they will be able to be successful. That's why they're turning into robbery, they're turning into selling drugs and all that, because you'll find that a youth has a degree, has a diploma, but there is no way they can get job. They do not get a fair share of going for interviews, of applications and all that. Now, we need judiciary and the EACC to be on the forefront of fighting corruption. This is because we need them to act as they should. They should bring those who are corrupt into justice. They should look into ways as to how they will come up with policies that will be able to tackle corrupt systems and corrupt government institutions and even other institutions for that matter.
I think most of the young people are not getting employment or are not being employed because there's a lot of corruption in so many institutions, and people use a lot of backdoors to get the employment and to get the things that they want. So if you are a person who is practicing integrity and you want to do the things the right way that is supposed to be done, it means that you will have to work extra hard for you to get whatever is needed. For our institution and also schools, we need to start from the roots, because it doesn't start from up there. It starts from the ground, where we start practicing corruption from our lower levels. But when we practice integrity and making sure that corruption is not prevailing, I think youth will get a lot of opportunities when we practice integrity and we also fight corruption at the lower levels.
Na pia katika sekta ya elimu tunaona kwamba kuna fedha ambazo zinatengwa katika mashule, lakini wakati ambapo ni wanafunzi wanataka hizo hela unapata kwamba haziko. Kwa hivyo ni ombi langu ya kwamba katika sekta zote na katika nyanja zote ambazo ni katika taifa letu la Kenya zikaweza kushughulikiwa. Manake Wakenya sasa hivi wamekosa amani na hata viongozi. Wakenya wamekosa amani na katiba kwa sababu katiba haifuatiliwi. Ukienda pale unajua tu ya kwamba mtafika kule kotini na wale ambao wako na pesa watalipwa na hakuna hatua ambayo itachukuliwa. Kwa hivyo sisi kama viongozi, sisi kama wananchi pia inafaa tuchukue hatua, tuseme ya kwamba ufisadi hauhitajiki na itaanza na sisi tukianza pale nyumbani. Kwa sababu ufisadi unaanzia pale nyumbani, unaanzia kule shuleni, hata pale darasani na pia kule kwenye magari ya usafiri. Ni jukumu la kila mmoja kuhakikisha kwamba anachukua hatua. Ni hatua ipi wewe kama mwananchi unaichukua? Kwa sababu ukisema tu kuna ufisadi na hauchukui hata hatua yoyote, hakuna suluhisho ambalo tunalipata pale.